Because you can't do it at work. I've had so many times for all of my classes. Last period, I just started the math. Same, I did the math all period. Last night I did the English. Tomorrow morning I did the anatomy.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is draw a triangle. It says it's a right triangle, so it doesn't really matter how you draw it. Just draw a right triangle. Pretend that's a good right triangle. Not very good drawer. All right, so it says the longer leg is 20 meters longer than twice the length of the shorter leg. And the hypotenuse is 10 meters longer than the length of the longer leg.
Oh.
All right, so which one do I need to assign? So we're only going to assign one variable. Which leg gets to be my variable?
The bottom side, right?
Should be the short one. So, yeah, the bottom. So let x equal the short leg. And the main reason for that is because they've given me the long leg in reference to the short leg and the hypotenuse in reference to the long leg. So if I'm not going to know any of them unless I know the short leg. So I'm going to call the short leg x, which means the long leg is 20 meters longer than twice the short leg.
So it'd be 2x plus 20.
Yep. And then the hypotenuse is 10 meters longer than the length of the longer leg.
So it would be 2x plus 20 plus 30?
2x plus 30. Or 2x plus 20 plus 10, but yes, 2x plus 30.
So what are we now?
No.
Do we add the two legs together and equal it to the hypotenuse?
Well, almost. There's really a reason why they told us it was a right triangle. Because there's a couple of... Pythagorean theorem.
Oh.
It's the only thing we know that will relate all three of these that we can set equal. So Pythagorean theorem, remember, is a squared plus b squared
Equals c squared?
equals c squared.
Oh, I was right.
So leg squared, so I'm going to take my short leg, x squared, plus my long leg, 2x plus 20 squared equals my hypotenuse, 2x plus 30 squared.
Wait, so what's A, B, and A and B is the short legs and then
A
C
and B
the
is the legs and C is the hypotenuse.
Right, okay, yeah.
Now remember, I have to write this down and distribute it out. You can't just square the 2x and square the 20. We have to write it out. I'm going to come over here to the side and do that so that I'm not taking all my space. So 2x plus 20 times 2x plus 20.
Why is that like that? I don't really understand
4x
how it
squared
works.
plus 4.
Because remember, squaring is multiplying something by itself. And even though that 2x plus 20 is two separate terms, technically, it all represents one leg. So I have to square the leg times itself. So I have to square all of it. So Alright, so I got 4x squared plus 80x plus 400. I have to do the same thing with the 2x plus 30 piece. They are big. I don't think it'll be
all even.
yeah, and I don't think it's going to be so bad in the end. You'll see why. All right, so now I'm going to go put these things over here where they belong. All this pink stuff belongs right here, and all that green stuff belongs right there. So I'm going to plug that in, and then simplify. And I think that we'll see it's not too bad. All right, so the goal here is to find out what x is. And if I'm going to do that, I've got an x squared, I've got x squareds and x's in the same problem, which means you're going to have to move everything to one side. And either factor, use a quadratic formula. So I'm going to move everything from the right side to the left, just because I like to look at things on the left. It's the way I'm used to things. So what happens to the 4x squareds?
Subtract it.
Yeah, if I subtract 4x squared from the right, then I also subtract it from the left, which means...
You're just left with x squared.
Yeah, you're just left with the 1x squared over here, because those are going to cancel. And I'm going to subtract 120x from the 80x, and 900, 400. So I'm left with x squared minus 40x minus 500 equals 0. And that factors very easily.
Yeah, totally.
X minus 50 and x plus 10. Negative 50 times positive 10 equals negative 500. Add them together, they get negative 40. So x equals positive 50 and x equals negative 10. Well, as far as the quadratic goes, that is true. But as far as this word problem goes,
Oh.
can I have a length of negative
It
10?
would be 50.
No.
It's just the 50. And then the problem also told me to find the lengths of all of the sides.
You gotta plug it in.
So you got to plug it in. So I got the 50 is the small side, and then 2 times 50.
So the side that doesn't have 2x, that's 50.
Yeah, the regular x is 50. The long leg is 120, and the hypotenuse is 130.
You can do it for me on this one.
Everybody good? All right, next one. If a projectile is launched vertically upward from the ground with an initial velocity of 100 feet per second, neglecting air resistance, that means we're going to ignore the fact that there's air resistance. Its height, s, in feet above the ground, t seconds after projection is given by, there's the formula, h equals negative 16t plus 100t. If you're taking physics, or if you have taken physics, you're probably used to seeing that formula, although most of the time in physics you use meters and not feet, so it's a little different, but it's the same formula. A, after how many seconds will the projectile be 50 feet above the ground? And then B, how long will it take for the projectile to return to the ground? All right, so for A, we just want to see how long is it going to take for the height to be 50. So I'm just going to take this formula and I'm going to plug 50 in for my height. So that's going to be 50 equals negative 16t squared plus 100t.
Then you could, or you could add the other two on the right over. That would.
Yeah, that's what I'm
positive.
with you. Let's move these to the other side so that the lead coefficient is positive. So it's going to be 16t squared minus 100t plus 50. Okay, so before we just launch into solving this by bottoms-up method or whatever, I'm pretty sure it factors. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Pretty sure it does. But before I do that, all of those numbers are divisible by 2. 50 is not divisible by 4.
Oh.
But they're all divisible by 2, and I would go ahead and do that. It just makes your life easier because it makes the number smaller. So I'm going to do that first. Since I'm not real sure, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just going to divide everything by 2. Technically, I'm dividing the 0 by 2, but 0 divided by 2 is 0. So that gives me 8t squared minus 50t plus 25. All right, well, let's just say I don't want to try to figure out the... Oh, I think it's 400 again. Let's just factor it. It factors. So I'm going to multiply first and last. Right? Because let's see, that's 200. Yeah. So Drop the lead coefficient. Replace. Well, maybe it doesn't factor. 200. Oh, why did that happen? Oh, hold on, I know. My computer timed out. Okay, so how do I make it not do that? I wonder. I lied. It doesn't factor. Maybe it does. I don't know. Let's use a quadratic formula. If you can't factor it or you can't think of the factors, are there any factors of 200 that combine to give you 50? Let's see. 40 and 5. No. 50. No. 20 and 10. I don't think so. So we'll use a quadratic formula. Everybody know it? Quadratic. Negative b minus the square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. All right, so negative 50. They are. I think in the end it'll be okay though. Let's see.
Be some simple number like 2.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, it may factor, but
A is 8, right? Because we're like.
yes, A is 8. So I'm going to use the green numbers because they're not as big as the orange numbers. So I'm going to use those instead. My negative 50 becomes positive. Just keep simplifying. So 2,500 minus 800. 1,700. Okay, well 17 is prime, but 100 is not. 100 is a perfect square, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a perfect square, that means the square root of 100 is 10. That's going to come out to the front. And the 17 will stay underneath. You can break it down like we've been breaking down. You can break it down 17 and 100 if you want to. That's exactly what I just did. I just did it in my head.
So then don't you split it?
So I have
fractions?
50 plus, or yes, because they'll simplify. 50 plus or minus 10 square root 17 all over 16. You can split that into two fractions, 50 over 16 plus or minus 10 square root 17 over 16, and then simplify. So that becomes 25 over 8 plus or minus 5 square root 7 over 8.
Where's the 7?
Oh, 17, I'm sorry. Thank you. Sometimes I can't read my own writing. Oh, don't worry. B is much easier. Yeah, B. How long for the projectile to return to the ground? Okay, so we did how long will it take this projectile to be 50 feet above the ground? So we've shot the thing up in the air, we've got 50 feet above the ground. What is the height of the object when it's on the ground?
0.
0. So that means we're just going to plug in to the same formula, but we want the height to be 0. So 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 100t.
Just one of those.
Now, because I have a t squared and a t in the same problem, I still have to factor this in order to find my solution. But all you have to factor it with is the greatest common factor. So what's the greatest common factor between 16t and 100t? 4t. So I'm going to do -4 since I have it on this side. So -4t. All right, if I divide a -4t out of 16t squared, what am I left with? 4t. And if I divide a -4t out of 100, what are you left with?
25.
Good, -25.
Oh, yeah.
So now these are my two pieces. So I have -4t. I have -4t equals 0. So you set both pieces equal to 0. -4t equals 0, which means t equals 0. Well, that makes sense. That means the projectile is on the ground before you shoot it. Because at 0 seconds, it's on the ground. And then 4t minus 25 equals 0. Add 25 to both sides. 4t equals 25. Divide by 4. And t equals 25 over 4 seconds. And 6.25 seconds. Everybody okay? Sort of got it?
So it'd be both of those? Or would it be 6.25 seconds?
It's just the 6.25 seconds because it says for it to return to the ground. So it was on the ground at the beginning, but they wanted the return. All right, next one. The sum of the squares of two consecutive integers is 313. Find the integers. All right. So what does two consecutive integers mean?
Like
Back to back.
-6, -7.
Right, like back to back. So -6, -7 will be consecutive integers. We have no idea if these two consecutive integers are the sum of the squares. So we really don't know. They might be negative or positive. We don't know. So we're going to let x be our first integer. So if x is my first integer, how do I represent the next integer? Got to use the same
x2.
x.
X with the
What did you
same
tell me about them? What makes them consecutive?
They're back to back.
What makes numbers back to back?
Plus or minus 1.
Plus or minus 1. So we're going to do, and actually it doesn't matter what you do. You could do x plus 1 or you could do x minus 1. I'm just going to do x plus 1. So x is my first integer, x plus 1 is my second integer. Now we have to sum the squares of those. So that
So you
means,
square them first, right?
right, so we're going to square x, the first integer, that was easy, x squared. And I'm going to add that to the square of the second one, so x plus 1 squared. And that will equal 313. So remember, you have to write this down by itself. X plus 1 times x plus 1. And square it that way.
And you just put into the quadratic.
I think because they're integers, we shouldn't have to. It should factor, I think.
Oh.
Alright. Combining like terms.
X squared in it. Yeah, so it's
Alright, I'm going to move the 313 to the other side. And I got 2x squared plus 2x minus 312. Again, they are all divisible by 2. So I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2. And that gives me x squared plus 2, no, plus x, sorry. X squared plus x minus 56. Okay, so now I am looking for factors of 156 that would combine to give me 1. positive.
Negative 156.
So I don't know my factors of 156 right off the top of my head. So when you don't know them, we're going to use a factor sum chart, and we'll just start going through. So 156, 1 and 156, that won't work. 2 and 78, 3 and 52. I gotta figure out why that does that. I mean, how do I do that? Let's see, 4, does 4 go into 156? Yes. 4 goes in 30,
32.
9?
I don't know.
39 times maybe?
I just made that up.
39 times. 5 doesn't. Does 6 go in?
Sure.
Yes. Do you guys? Do you know what 6 goes into 156?
22 times. 21.
26 times.
Oh.
Do you know how to divide?
I was just guessing. I wasn't like actually.
That was like the worst idea.
Does 7 go in?
No.
No. Does 8?
Yes.
Does
wait,
it?
Wait,
I don't know.
wait,
It
wait.
should.
No, wait, no.
It should? Why should it?
No, that's not a number. That's not a number. No, it does not.
No, it doesn't.
I was looking at 4 and I was like, if it's no, it's not. It's
Does
not.
9?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It does.
Maybe.
Yes.
9 and
Wait, does 9 go in? Wait, hold on.
I don't think.
No, I don't think 9 does.
Calculators, man.
9 doesn't go in. 9 doesn't go in.
Okay, 10
Because
doesn't.
that would be 66. 10, no. 11.
12 does.
12 does?
I don't know.
44. What's 44 plus 12?
Is it 12 and 13? Is that what it is?
12 would.
Is it 12 and 13?
12 and 13.
Oh, look.
You got it.
I found a common number. I was like 4, 144. What's 4?
I know that's what I was saying. It's like 144.
Those are the 2 factors that I need. Because
It's
that
the last
equals 1.
one. The last one is
Before it turns back, before it turns back around. So, x plus 13,
Isn't the last number negative?
x minus 12. So x equals negative 13 and x equals positive 12, which means my 2 integers are 12 and 13.
Hi.
Because 12 and then 12 plus 1.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Look at us being smart. But it's a positive and
Well, yes, you're right. One of them came out negative and one came out positive, but the one that came out positive, x equals 12, remember I go back up here and I do 12 plus 1 and get my second integer. So I'm not taking this 13 from here, I'm taking it from pointing back in there.
oh right.
Magic.
One more.
That's it?
I told y'all this one's short.
She wasn't lying.
This is the last one. All
All
right.
right, great. Oh, we have one more.
We have one more.
I just need one more.
Cynthia, whatever, wants to buy a rug for a room that is 19 feet wide and 26 feet long. She wants to leave a uniform strip of floor around the rug. She can afford to buy 198 square feet of carpeting. What dimensions should the rug have? Okay, so the room is 19 feet by 26 feet.
That's a big room.
That is a big room.
Lots of numbers.
She wants a rug that,
Why is she so complicated?
I don't know.
Is my question.
She wants a rug that is uniform all the way around. So she didn't say how much floor she wanted. She just wants it uniform.
So like a square.
Yeah. So like this is, well, she wants the same distance around. So if it's from the wall to the rug is X on this side, she wants it to be X over here.
Whoa.
And she wants it to be, so she wants it to be the same distance from the wall on all the sides.
Okay.
Mine is not.
That's fancy.
That makes sense.
It's just in my room.
Okay, so if you think about this, if it is 26 feet all the way across, from one wall to the next wall. But I don't really need the measurement from wall to wall. I want the measurement of this rug. So how far is it from here to here? She's going to be able to.
She's gonna deal with it.
All right, so we just have to multiply this and then factor it. Did you know that people in the market store actually do that for you?
Good for them.
That's what they do.
This is what they use?
They use it. They use computers. They like plug it
They
in.
have calculators.
Who do you think wrote the program? Yeah, but they still have to know how to do it. You can't just plug random numbers in a calculator. No.
They can always get
They have
like
actually they have like a program.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but somebody had to write the program, right?
Well, yeah. Well, that person is weird.
that person's the teacher. That's why.
They made it easier for everybody else.
Yeah. So we don't need it because that person wrote it for us. Kind of like how she's doing it right now.
Honestly, I just sitting away just gonna come up with amazing numbers.
494.
Look at that.
I was waiting for that one. What do you understand right now?
Wait, she
just-
cross multiply.
I'm just multiplying.
Math.
Yeah, I'm foiling. I just don't foil. I just don't call it that.
I don't call it four.
I
I call it cross
distribute.
multiplying because it's.
You just multiply.
Okay, so
Okay, so I multiplied 26 times 19. Well, actually, I multiplied times 2x first because it was easier.
Wait,
I
what
multiplied
did you say?
52.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
And then I multiplied 26 times 19 and got 494. And then I multiplied negative 2x times 19 and got, oh, that should have an x, bless you, 18x. And then negative 2x times negative 2x is positive 4 squared.
How is
Nice.
I didn't know if you're
Oh, it's not. Thank you. It's 38.
Okay.
Oh, y'all, you could fix that if you'd have done it yourself. Instead of just watching me do it.
I tried.
You're right.
find out to the rest of you.
All right. Now we're going to combine like terms, move everything around. You have an x squared and an x in the z problem, which means all of it's got to go on one side anyway. So keep your lead coefficient positive. So I'm going to move it all to the left.
Oh,
Let's see.
how you're bullying us.
You're the biggest bully in school.
That's what
I was like last night. I was like, I might wear my glasses to school because my eyes are so bad. And then I was like, no. And I was like, I'm gonna create a poll on Instagram and see, like, would you bully me if I wore my glasses?
Well, I see whenever I can't see whenever my contacts whenever I drive, so I don't really have. Funny story, sophomore year, I woke up late and I just like grabbed all my stuff and ran out the door and I was driving down the road and I was like, why is everything so fuzzy today? And I blamed it on fog. And then I drove past someone and I said, I didn't see them until about 2 seconds. I don't have my contacts in.
How do you not? I can't walk around
yeah,
without
yeah. Very bad.
I don't know, like, honestly, I was like, wow, it's really foggy today. Like, that's what I was thinking while I was driving on the road, and then there's a person that's walking, I was like, is that? I realized I didn't have my contacts in, and I don't wear glasses anymore, so I didn't think anything of it.
All right. What now?
Yeah, so you factor?
You divide by 4.
Almost.
Two?
Divide by 2.
Two.
Yeah, 90 is not divisible by 4, but
But you gotta get rid of the front number.
I can't get all the way rid of it, but
Well,
we're at least going to make it small.
wait, how did you get to 96?
I subtracted 198 from 494.
okay.
Are your contacts in?
I had missed. Oh, give me a second. Yes, they were in. Thank you. I don't even. I hadn't been to town yet. I was only like 2 seconds from when I realized it. I was late to school that day too.
I'd rather be late and have my contacts.
I didn't even realize we have them in.
I don't know if this factors or not. Let's just go ahead and instead of trying to figure out if it factors, let's just go ahead and use the quadratic formula.
I agree.
We
no,
could,
now we gotta do some
we
more.
could, if we wanted to, we could actually plug it into the discriminant, and that would tell us whether or not it
Let's
factors.
do that.
And then we're halfway done with the quadratic formula.
Yeah,
So let's do that.
Let's do that.
Squared minus 4ac.
So that's.
So this is b.
What is 45?
This is a, and that's c. So b. So b. It's really irritating. I'm sure there's a setting somewhere that I can go fix that.
It's probably like the screen time.
I'll
Yeah, like you
I'll
can do
find
it on
that
your
and
phone.
fix it. Let's see.
Yeah, I could totally.
What are you looking for once we get to all the images math?
You're not allowed to use a calculator either.
Oh no, I could, but that's
I
not very.
would.
That's not very nice, is it?
Rubbing our face. Thank you.
Yeah, but then you just give us answers. It really matter.
Choose a human calculator.
8 times 8 is 64.
Did I do that right? Oh, this is an 8. Okay, I was gonna say, why would that be imaginary? Whew. That'd be good. Okay.
Well, you just confused me.
What's 8 times
I don't know
32?
where.
Yeah.
1. Yeah,
Whoa, how did you already get 1184? I like just now got it.
she's already got 641.
She definitely does this all day.
Yeah, I practice math 8 hours a day.
How long have you been teaching?
17 years.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of math.
It's a lot of math.
I started along this week though, so. Okay, so 641. So it is positive. But I don't think it's not a perfect square that I know of. 625 is a perfect square, so I don't think it's a perfect square, which means we were smart to do this. So we can go ahead and finish the quadratic formula. So negative 45. Here's the good part though. You've already done the b squared minus 4ac, so you just
Yeah.
stick that 641 under there. And we can just keep simplifying.
2 times 2 is 4.
Look at that. Okay.
Oh, don't you have to back that thing down?
This is 45?
Yeah,
That
so let's see, 641.
that does it.
Does 3 go into 641?
No.
Nope. Does it, is it prime?
Ooh.
5 doesn't go into 7. Nope. 11.
Someone get out a calculator, right?
Yeah, you just.
Nope.
Dang.
I think it's prime.
Yes.
We'll just leave it with 641 over 4.
So we got lucky.
So it's 45 over 4.
Which
Good.
can't
Right.
do anything with,
Right. So 45 over 4 plus or minus the square root of 641 over 4.
Which would be the answer. Oh, no, it
Correct, that's the
wouldn't.
answer. Wait, oh.
Now, I'm going to be honest, I really don't know. I would think anytime they have a problem like this, that does not help me. If I go to the carpet store and say, I need a rug that's 45 over 4 plus or minus the square root of 641 over 4, they're going to go, what? They want like real measurements. And so I would think that they probably want you to put real measurements in my level
So how
plus.
do you?
So I would just pull up a online little calculator thing or use your phone and get the decimal answer. So I can tell you this: if when the test comes, you'll have word problems on the test, but they probably aren't going to be like this. But this came right off of MyLabs Plus. I've copied it from MyLabs Plus. So, but I don't remember what it said about the answer because I just copied the problem and printed it.
So you should look for the answer.
Okay, you should see what it says in the answer.
I will. I'll go look and see what it says. Okay, so now you have time to do whatever you need to. This one will be open. It's not open yet, but I'll open it in just a second.
I might need lots of help.
Okay.
Because I tried to do it last night. I thought that I would be less stressed, like in a less stressful
I started-
environment,
I
so I'd be able to
started
do
video.
it like on my own, like do it